Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? It's great to see you and welcome back. Today's video is sponsored by Helix Sleep, the makers of premium mattresses that are delivered right to your doorstep and customized to meet your needs and preferences. My husband and I have had our Helix Sleep mattress now for over a year, and we are getting terrific sleep. We wake up well rested, our backs feel supported, and it is such an upgrade to our old mattress, which we were grateful for, but we inherited it and it definitely needed to be replaced. We took the Helix Sleep quiz and entered our sleep preferences, and the sleep quiz matched us with the Helix Sleep Dusk Luxe. I happen to be a side sleeper. I prefer a firmer style mattress, and I share my bed with my husband. So he also took the quiz, and the quiz combined both of our answers to come up with the perfect match. So besides getting great sleep, the other thing I really liked about our Helix Sleep mattress is that it arrived rolled up in a cardboard box. It was relatively easy to maneuver up a narrow flight of stairs, and I was able to install it myself. Helix Sleep recently introduced their most high-end line of mattresses, and they are called Helix Elite. It includes 6 new models that combine high-end luxury with your sleeping preferences. Your Helix Sleep mattress comes with a 100-night sleep trial, so you can make sure you love it. It also has a 10-year warranty, and there are flexible payment plans and financing options available as well. Helix Sleep mattresses are also fiberglass free. Also, keep an eye on Helix Sleep's website. During the month of October, they're going to have some pop-up flash sales, so it's a great time to upgrade your sleep. So if you'd like to start getting some great sleep, please click the link down below or head over to helixsleep.com/emmymade to receive 20% off the mattress of your choice, along with 2 free pillows. Big thanks to Helix Sleep for sponsoring this video and for allowing me to make better videos for all of you. Alrighty, my lovelies, today I am going to be doing a little bit of an experiment with a pumpkin. This pumpkin, which I picked up at my local farm, I am going to see if my chickens can carve this into a jack-o'-lantern. I've seen plenty of videos on this, and I truly want to see if my chickens are capable of doing this. I think it's funny, I think it's silly, and I am intrigued. I happen to have chickens, so why not try this experiment? So for those of you that are not familiar with these videos, it's really quite simple. You take a pumpkin and you either scratch the surface of the pumpkin to encourage the chickens to peck at it, or you poke little holes, or some people even peel some of the skin off where you want the features of your jack-o'-lantern to be. Then your hens will hopefully peck at those sides, hopefully going all the way through so that you can illuminate your jack-o'-lantern and have a derpy face. I hope for a derpy face. I'm going to keep this really simple, not too many details, because we don't want to stress the chickens out. We don't want to make things too difficult. Don't need to set the bar too high. I just want holes. I would like 2 eyes and a mouth, right? Simple. Now my chickens are cooped up. I usually let them out around this time of day, but I want to keep them in the run and hungry so they can peck at this, right? We'll see. And we're just going to go with a couple triangles. Oops. Triangles, see that? And a big mouth. Now usually I like teeth for my pumpkin. My jack-o'-lantern, I keep calling it a pumpkin. But I'm just gonna keep it simple. Again, don't want to put too much pressure on the hens. A couple of versions I've seen, they take the top layer of skin off the pumpkin. So I'm just scoring and then taking my knife and kind of just getting the pumpkin skin off. So here is the triangle for one eye. Now the other one, I'm just gonna poke. I've seen people do this and I'm just like, really, does that work? But that's what they've done. They scratch it up just in the area, just to expose it so the chickens can kind of see that this area has been messed with, and they'll continue to do the same. This I'm really skeptical about. Were you on my Instagram? This is during pandemic when I tried to grow a giant pumpkin. I mean giant, like a 1,000-pound pumpkin. I attempted that. I have it in my highlights on my Instagram, and it was quite the drama. Many people tuned daily to see how big the pumpkin got. It was quite fun. Look at that beautiful thing. See, so there's all these little nicks. little tiny fork marks, bigger nicks, like there, and then peeled. Right? Let's take this and give it to the chickens and see what happens. I imagine it's going to take a couple days. Not sure. We'll see what they do in a few hours. We'll leave it overnight if need be, and we'll just keep track. And then I will report back with the results of the pumpkin carving experiment. All right, come on, chickens, you can do this. Alrighty, my lovelies, I am back. It has been a full 24 hours since I placed my pumpkin into the coop with my chickens. And here are the results. Pretty stinking good, right? I am so impressed. Look at this mouth. Look, they even created teeth. They got a little bit creative and they said, you know what, your jack-o'-lantern needs some teeth. So here we are. They made it all the way through the mouth and they didn't quite get all the way through the eyes. So I added a little bit of scratch feed and some mealworms and they pecked all the way through. Isn't it magnificent? I have to say, I was pretty skeptical that the chickens, A, would make it all the way through, and B, that they would stay in this area, that they wouldn't mar any of the rest of the pumpkin, and they didn't. From what I observed, most of the munching happened immediately. I would say in the first few hours of me placing the pumpkin into the run. If you try this with your chickens, I would suggest making the pumpkin accessible for them. Laying it on the ground seemed to be pretty effective in terms of allowing all the birds access to the jack-o'-lantern. Relatively recently have I learned this way of hollowing out the pumpkin, and I really, really like it. And I always have to remind myself to do it because my inclination is to cut it from the top, like my parents did when I was a kid. But this way is much better. It's a much easier way to light your candle and place your pumpkin on top, and it just looks better too. There's no seam on top. Ordinarily, I would hollow out the pumpkin first and then do my work on top, because if you were to cut it out first and then scrape the insides after you've done all your work, there's a chance that you could ruin the face because it becomes quite fragile because you've now made all these holes. I also recommend a pumpkin cutter. This is an inexpensive one I picked up at the grocery store. I almost every year end up having to buy a new one, which I dislike. I'd rather have a better quality one, which I think I will invest in this year finally, but I've had this one for the last couple of seasons, but highly recommend this, especially for little kids. It allows them to participate and it's just a lot safer. A rounded tip and the blade is serrated, so you can touch it, but it does a really great job at cutting pumpkin flesh and not kid flesh. Carefully plunge it in, and this is the tricky part. I always end up bending them, but just go slowly. You just go up and down in a sawing motion, and it just makes such easy work of cutting the pumpkin. And pull this. Oh, the smell of pumpkin. There we are. And then here are the insides. As a kid, I was always kind of grossed out and just also simultaneously enthralled by the idea of sticking my hand inside of a pumpkin and grabbing all the guts out. I like using a spoon, a big spoon, and I also like to scrape the membranes out too. If you want to roast your pumpkin seeds, they're delicious if you've got some nice big seeds. Wash your pumpkin seeds, dry them, pat them dry, and then you can roast them in a 325, 350 oven. Just rub a little bit of olive oil on them, salt, until they're nice and crispy. I'm so impressed with how well the chickens stayed in the lines. All right, my lovelies, there you have it, the jack-o'-lantern that my chickens carved. Isn't it great? I think it turned out so great. So I just scraped it out, and when I scraped it out from behind, it made the holes more defined, and it looks so great. I love how the jack-o'-lantern looks like it's smiling. It's so cheery, how the holes are kind of round, and that my chickens did that. So great. I feel like a proud mama. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something, and big thanks to Helix Sleep for sponsoring this video. If you'd like to receive 20% off the mattress of your choice, please click the link down below or head over to helixsleep.com/Emmy to get 20% off your mattress along with 2 free pillows. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media, like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo, take care, bye! Ready? Yeah, look at that. Take out the paper. Look at that.